So when we were kids, we had something that every parent wants in their child, good marks in math and science. And looking at that, our parents had a really noble thought. They felt that we were cut out for engineering. And I mean, we had some thoughts about that too, but didn't matter a lot, and the decision was taken. At the tender age of 15, we were exposed to something called IIT JEE coaching classes. And after that day, there was no looking back. He woke up in the morning, studied for 12 hours during the day, went back to bed at night, fantasized about the IITs, of course, and then repeated this over and over again. And 2 years later, bam, we were inside IIT Bombay. And the engineering life was just so different. I thought I would be seeing girls all over the place, but the only time that happened was on my laptop. I thought my love for maths would really blossom, but thank you. I thought my love for maths would blossom, but it just wilted away. This one time in third year, I got told that I was good at making people laugh. I mean, you'd think that's a great thing, but it actually happened in my Viva examination. So, don't get me wrong, the IIT life was amazing, but in terms of academics, it was quite pathetic. So we had a relative grading system where we were graded relative to our peers and not on the basis of our absolute marks. So it was on a scale of 10 to 4, where the toppers, the people who scored the highest, would get a 10, and the bottommost grade 4 was something that people like him would end up getting in most of their courses. Yeah, he would be a great T20 player because always raining 4s and 6s on his scorecard. So anyway, that just implies one thing, that we had a lot of free time in our hands. So I started exploring a bunch of stuff. I started playing the drums. I became a good drummer over time. I started writing. I wrote a lot of jokes just to kill time, and people were liking that stuff. And that is when I realized that I had a knack for creativity. And one of the very few batchmates who shared the same passion and desire for creativity was Chirag.
Okay, so since the day I got into IIT, I was quite laid back. After wasting around a year, I started getting an interest in design. So one day I designed a logo for my hostel and showed it to some of my seniors. And they were like, wow, this is amazing. Maybe they said that because who actually cares about a hostel logo? Or the other reason could have been they didn't know anything at all about design. And neither did I. But that small pat on my back was motivating enough for me to dive deeper into this field in order to create mind-bending stuff. I was probably the only guy on the last bench who didn't sleep. And sometimes, probably the only guy in the whole class who didn't sleep. Because I was busy doodling on the front page of my notebook. So, here's a raw product from one of my engineering lectures, boredom. I was just doodling, so this is from my first year. I was just doodling different departments of IIT Bombay. You can see aerospace engineering, chemical engineering, electrical, energy, everything. So I just posted this on Facebook, and voila, people were sharing this amateur piece of art. And at that time, I realized that this is something which I want to do. How I'll make money, how I'll convince my parents, nothing was decided, but this was. So I started getting deeper and deeper into this field, and this is something I made in one of my engineering lectures only. So it's an ambigram. So it reads the same even when you rotate it upside down. So say here it reads CHIRAG, and if you rotate it by 180 degree, it reads CHIRAG again. So I posted it on Facebook, and people were like, wow, about this. So I was like, before I could go and read a lot of articles about how to find your passion, I actually found mine without knowing nothing about it.
So I actually ended up meeting him when we were traveling for our third year internships, and that is when I realized that he really wanted to create an impact through design. I, on the other hand, had no such plans of creating any impact, but he always felt that we could combine our strengths to create something different. And that is when, out of nowhere, we started a Facebook page, and we called it The Minimalist. We did that because there were so many people on the internet talking about so much stuff and making so much noise, and we really wanted to cut through that noise with our own unique brand of social commentary, a brand that would be unique, short, witty, and crisp. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you right now. I'm sure all of you heard of what Shobha De had recently said in her outrageous tweet. She had said that our Olympic squad would just go to Rio, click selfies and come back, and the internet went bonkers that day. Everyone was writing long blog posts against her, people were abusing her, and we also decided to come up with something on that, something like this. So it's just 3 words, and in 3 words we summed up the entire rant, all the diatribes that people were posting against Shobha De. And this is how we do it at The Minimalist. We keep it very simple, and we try to keep it witty. Next, I want to show you a creative that we made on Father's Day. So I love my dad. I'm sure all of you love your dads, but I don't love the messages that come out every year on Father's Day. I mean, it's the same sentimental claptrap over and over again, and we were sick of it. So we decided to create something in our own edgy way. If you see, this is an apostrophe. It's a very subtle perception shift, which you can see, and this is how we like to do it. Very simple, straight to the point. Next, I want to show you a joke that we had cracked when Sanjay Dutt just got released from prison. So it reads, probably its most popular release till date. And this ended up going viral because whenever we make fun of anyone in India, people are going to love it. So this got a lot of shares. Okay, I have a quick question for all of you. How many of you here smoke? So I'm sure all of you have heard thousands and thousands of times about how it's bad and you shouldn't do it and all that jazz. And I'm sure you're bored to hell about it. And even I realized that, even though I don't smoke, I realized how bored you guys are. So we decided to create a message on that would hit you really deep down inside. This. Told you it was going to hit you really deep down inside.
Yes, so there are only 2 ways by which people will remember what you say. Either you make them laugh or you make them think. So Sahil just highlighted the humorous part of The Minimalist, but at The Minimalist, we follow a lot on design thinking as well. And that design thinking sets us apart from other humorous pages. So now I'll just show you some of the designs which we made using the power of design thinking. Okay, so this is something which we made in 2015 when a lot of startups were hiring and firing their employees. So what can you read here? Fired, hired, tired. Okay, so this is the design with multiple visual interpretations. So it reads, at startups you can be hired anytime, at startups you can be fired anytime. So this is something which is showing the pros and cons of working at a startup in a very minimal way. So this is something we designed when Agra government launched a competition to design their logo. Okay, so what can you observe here? Here, if you look at it closely, Agra is written in Devanagari and Taj is written in between. In Latin, it reads T-A-J. So this is something we made after the deadline. As you all know, all good ideas come after deadlines. So this is a design we made on Martyrs Day. So there is more to a soldier than meets the eye. Okay, yes, so there's a Batman symbol between the hand and the gun of the soldier. So we use the same, we use a quote from the movie Dark Knight Rises, which reads, a silent guardian, a watchful protector, an Indian soldier. So we follow such kind of thought-provoking, minimalist approach while we work on our campaigns, our designs. So this is something we designed when we started the Minimalist page. This is quite clear. If you read the copy, there's a double meaning there. Which red do you want to avoid? So it's showing that if you break a signal, you are making a choice between the 2 reds, the red blood and the traffic signal. Okay, so what do you see here? Is it a shuttle or is it a cup? Okay, so all of you are right. It's a shuttle as well as a cup. So this is something we made to highlight the cause of child labor, and it really went viral on social media. It was picked by a lot of media channels.
So, I mean, all of this has just started with 2 clueless engineers who had no idea about what they wanted to do with their free time. And with every poster that we created, more and more people started following our work. And recently we hit the 100,000 followers mark on our social media. Thank you. So it was just us having fun, and when he passed out of college, we decided to turn this into a business. And today we are a digital agency. We have 30 people working with us, and we've already served 150 clients till date. But I'm not saying that we're tremendously successful or that we're there or something, but we've had real fun taking this path, being engineers. We've really had fun opening the Pandora's box and entering a space that we had absolutely no idea about. And I think the most important thing here was that we were at it constantly and tirelessly. And I think if any one of you wants to do anything in life, you just have to put in the effort and be patient, and hopefully things are going to fall in place. Thank you.